A Democratic lawmaker recently put FBI Director Kash Patel on the spot with a powerful question, one that strikes at the heart of American democracy. Who does the FBI really answer to? The Constitution or the President?
Mr. Chairman, for the meeting, and thank you, Director Patel, for being here. I want to just preface this. I feel important to say that I think while the history of the FBI has not been a perfect one, the goal of the agency has always been focused, as it should be, on keeping Americans safe, the safety of American citizens. And I think I am concerned about, and I think millions of Americans as well are concerned about any suggestions that there will be a political agenda or adherence to the president's agenda as opposed to the safety of American citizens. And I appreciate everything you've said this afternoon, and I'm grateful for it. I know I've been in the business of politics for a long time. The only thing I ever care about, whether it's the military or law enforcement, that it's professional and it's nonpartisan, and that we uphold the rule of law and the Constitution of the United States. And I'm just very, very concerned about some of the things I hear from the Oval Office, not from your office necessarily, but from the Oval Office, and hope that the president recognizes that the FBI serves the American people, and it serves the rule of law, and the Constitution does not serve the president or any political agenda. And I just want to feel honor-bound to say that as a preference. So I appreciate you being here. First of all, do you believe it's your duty to uphold the Constitution of the United States?
Mine and everybody at the FBI.
I appreciate that, sir. I want to go back, and I appreciate what everyone said. You know, the skinny budget, as we're calling it, is frustrating for appropriators because it's really hard to tell from the literally 10 lines and 100 words about the FBI what is envisioned here, and it calls for a cut of, as we've talked about, $545 million. I gather, as I'm piecing this together, I think roughly speaking, the proposed budget is about $10.7 billion. The president has asked for about 10.2, rough numbers. You're suggesting 11.2, which would be about a $500 million increase. And I think I share, as my colleagues do, some interest in, first of all, recognizing what that increase would be and how it would accrue to the benefit of the American people. Can you just quickly, and I have a couple of different questions, so I'd ask you, just tell me where you would focus that increase on, because I'm concerned about the proposed cut, and we have virtually nothing to go on here.
Yeah, very quickly, just in the last 3 years, the FBI has, through budget cuts and CRs, left vacant 1,000 permissions approximately every year. So right now, while everybody thinks the FBI has 38,000 employees, we do on the books, we don't have 38,000 humans. So year over year, those cuts have led to book attrition. And in order to get some of those back and some of those vacant slots back, we need to actually fund them. And the rest of the funding would go to preventing the removal of an additional amount of agents.
Well, look, I'm sure you share our frustration. You probably didn't like the proposed budget any more than I think many of us did. So we would encourage you, as you're speaking to the president, to encourage him both to speed up the process and also to consider some of your recommendations. Earlier this week, there were reports by the Attorney General's plans to dissolve the Organized Crime Drug Enforcement Task Force by September 30th of this year. I find this deeply troubling. The task force's recent success in my district, just last week, we removed over 200 grams of fentanyl from the streets of Rochester, New York, where I'm privileged to represent. I did send earlier today a letter to the Attorney General, which I would ask unanimous consent to enter my letter into the record, but expressing my concern over the decision and reminding the Attorney General that funds appropriated by Congress for fiscal year 25 are required to be spent. And the legality of the decision aside, the FBI is an important member of that task force. I wonder if you could just share with me the importance of the work to national security and to the public, and how, if you've been consulted, and what your views are on the efforts to decommission it.
I believe are you referring to OCDEF, sir?
I'm sorry?
Are you referring to OCDEF?
Yes, that's correct.
My understanding, and I'm not going to speak for the Attorney General and how the department views it, is that the cut is only to one singular office, not to the OCDEF program writ large, which the FBI has a large authority over. And so I have not been informed yet, and again, I'm not speaking for the AG, that the OCDEF program itself would be shuttered in any way.
Okay, we're getting it from news reports because we're not getting it from the department. It said, a DOJ budget analyst at OCDEF, I think that's how you say it, would be zeroed out in the budget. And also, and I just note parenthetically that it brought in $2 billion in proceeds. It cost $500 million to run the program. So honestly,
It's good ROI.
yeah, this is good ROI. So I'd love to come back to you if I could, or have further conversations with your office about it, because I would like to see it continue. I think it does amazing work and is well worth the investment that we make. So again, thank you for being here, sir.
Mr. Alfred, this hearing may have sounded calm and respectful on the surface, but underneath that tone was a question that goes to the very heart of American democracy. Who does the FBI really serve, the President or the Constitution? Representative Joe Morelli began his statement carefully. He admitted that the FBI's past isn't perfect, but reminded everyone why the agency was created in the first place: to protect Americans and uphold the rule of law. That reminder set the stage for what came next, which wasn't just a technical discussion, it was about principle. Looking straight at FBI Director Kash Patel, Morelli asked, "Do you believe it's your duty to uphold the Constitution of the United States?" Patel replied, "Mine and everybody at the FBI." It was a short exchange, but it carried powerful meaning and a quiet warning. Morelli wasn't worried about budgets or staffing at that moment. He was focused on something much deeper: the fear that government agencies could be pushed to act based on politics instead of justice. He didn't accuse Patel directly, but his words made the message clear. Under growing political pressure, public institutions that are supposed to serve all Americans risk becoming tools of whoever happens to hold power. When Morelli mentioned his concern about what he's hearing from the Oval Office, he gave voice to a concern shared by millions of Americans that loyalty to one leader might replace loyalty to the law itself. That's why his calm, steady tone mattered. He wasn't attacking anyone or making headlines. He was reminding everyone inside and outside government that the FBI's responsibility, like that of all public servants, begins and ends with the Constitution. Without that commitment, law enforcement loses its credibility and democracy loses its safeguards. After that, Morelli shifted to the Bureau's financial situation, the shrinking budget, the empty positions, and the proposed cuts to important crime-fighting programs. On paper, those details seemed routine, but in the broader conversation they revealed something bigger. When political agendas, not principles, start to decide who gets funded and who doesn't, even the strongest institutions can begin to weaken from within. Morelli's message was clear. Independence cannot survive on promises alone. It requires proper funding, respect, and a shared understanding that the rule of law is never up for negotiation. That's what made this hearing so important. It wasn't loud or dramatic. It was thoughtful, serious, and truly patriotic. Because in a time of deep political division and distrust, renewing our commitment to the Constitution isn't just another talking point.